everybody, this is Jen from Cookies, Cupcakes, and Cardio.com. This is our third video in a three-part series on edible printing. Now today I'm going to show you how to make this butterfly cake. And in the previous videos, I've shown you how to set up your printer and I've shown you how to lay out these butterflies in Photoshop, and I've also shown you online software from icingimages.com. We used iPrint and we used iDesigns. So in this one, we're going to put it all together from the pieces that we've been learning in the previous two videos. So check those out and let's get started on the cake. So here's what you're going to need to make the cake. We're going to start down here with some water. We're going to need some Tylose glue, and that is just Tylose mixed with water, and it's used to make a really hard cake glue that you can eat. We're going to be using our frosting sheets. Now I've cut these to fit my cake already. Now these two will fit around the circumference of the cake, and this one will fit onto the top of the cake here. And I've also cut out the butterflies that I laid out in the previous video in Photoshop. These are going to be used to make the 3D butterflies that you see shaping here. You're going to need some paint brushes for the Tylose glue and the water, and you're going to need a fondant smoother, some parchment paper sheets, and you're going to need some buttercream to finish off when the edible images are applied. So we're going to start first with showing you how to create the 3D butterflies because it needs to sit to dry. So to make our 3D butterflies, what we're going to do is apply some of the Tylose glue to the back of one of the butterflies, and then I'm going to put this one on top of this one and line them up, and then I'm going to put them into a flower former just so they can make the shape of their wings being up and nice and curved. So the first thing I have to do is take the backing off of the butterfly. And I've cut out the butterflies from the edible image paper, just using an X-Acto, or you can use a really sharp pair of scissors. So I'm putting my Tylose glue on the lid of the container, because if any ink comes off onto my brush, I don't want to be using it into this fresh Tylose, or I'd have to make more. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my brush, and I'm just going to start at the edges and work towards the middle. Just putting a little bit on. Just like that. And then I'm going to take the backing off of this one here. I'm going to line them up. Just like that. Then I'm going to take it and put it into the former. So now I'm just going to let these rest so they harden up, and I will show you how to put the edible image onto the cake next. So to apply the side, what I need to do is just use some water and a fairly large paintbrush, and I'm going to just moisten all the areas where I want the icing sheet to adhere. So I'm just going to go all the way around till I get to the other side where my one sheet is going to meet up. Just making sure I'm covering all the area. And I'm not putting on a whole huge amount of it because I don't want it to be soaking wet. I just want it to be a little bit moist, just so it gets a little bit sticky. Okay, so I'm coming up here to the edge where I'm going to meet it. I'm just going to be careful that I don't get the other piece wet. I am going to be applying an edge here, like a border edge, so you don't have to line it up exactly. And I've cut it so there's a little bit of space in between both. So what I'm going to do next is just peel off the back here. And then I'm going to line up the sheet on the board, and I'm going to start at this corner here, and I'm just going to put it pretty close to the other piece. And I'm just going to work around, making sure it's level on the board. So I've gone all the way around, and you can see the other edge here. It's just leaving a little bit of space, which will be filled up with a buttercream border. So then you can take your fondant smoother, and I'm just going to press it lightly to get any bubbles out if there are any. I'm just going to go all the way around, making sure that it's flat and it's stuck on all the different places. If there's any gaps where you need to put some more water, just apply that, and we're ready to do the top. So we'll be right back for the top. Okay, for the top, we're going to do the same thing with the brush and the water that we did on the sides. And the size of the image is 1/4 inch from the edge because I'm going to be applying a border to the top here as well. So I'm just adding some water here. Okay, so I'm going to peel off the backing. And then carefully I'm just going to line it up first. And then set it down. And then using I can just use my fondant smoother right now to go like that, but since it's on the top, I want to just put on my parchment paper because that just creates a little bit of a barrier between the fondant smoother and the icing sheet, just in case there's a little bit of icing that gets up or a little bit of water. So now I'm ready to do the borders along the sides and the top, and I'll be back to do that with my buttercream next. So the first border I'm going to pipe with my buttercream is going to be along the top of the edible image on the top there. And I'm using a Wilton 21 star tip. So I'm just going to do small stars on the top and just work my way around. Okay, and so now I'm going to do the sides. Okay, so now I'm going to do the seams and the bottom. Okay, so now that I've finished the bottom and the 2 seams, I'm going to come back to show you how to put the butterflies on. Okay, so to put the butterflies onto the edible image, I'm going to be using the Tylose glue again, just a little bit of it. And I'm just going to put it gently on where it's going to go. And then just put the butterfly right onto that spot. So I'm going to put a third butterfly on here, and then I'll be back to show you the finished cake. So there you have it, everybody, how to complete an edible image cake. We've wrapped it around the side, we've put it on the top, and we've made 3D butterflies on the top.